y'all, it's Bryn again. This is my day 5 of my spinal cord trial. So everything's been going really well with the spinal cord trial. I've had a good bit of discomfort from the tape, but I haven't been having pain going down my legs. Now today was a little bit different. I did get to a point today where I had some pain, just some achiness in my legs, and just my back was kind of bugging me a bit. Nothing, absolutely nothing like it was previously, but it was noticeable. So I fiddled around with the settings on my spinal cord stimulator, and I increased the intensity of it to see if that made a difference, and it did. I know when I ran my son to work, I had to turn it off, and so I really felt the achy and the discomfort in my back. It wasn't, compared to what I had previously, it was not anything comparable. But because I've had 4 days of relatively no pain other than the procedure pain, it was noticeable. So I did catch myself limping a little bit when it was starting to bug me. And I think some of it too has to do with how much I'm doing. Yesterday I did a lot of running. I did a lot of just general walking or standing. I stood and did the dishes. I did a lot of stuff yesterday, so I'm wondering if I didn't just kind of push it a little bit too far. I did call the doctor's office today because I have decided already that I am going to go through with the spinal cord stimulator. I spoke to the rep yesterday because one of the questions that I thought of is I used to love to do yoga. And I haven't done yoga in, oh my goodness, probably years. I think I did one thing, like a yoga class type thing, within the last year, maybe 2 years ago. But that was the last time that I really did any type of yoga. But I always loved doing yoga, and I love like meditating, doing yoga, stuff like that. So I asked the rep, once the permanent one, obviously I can't do the yoga right now because I'm not supposed to be bending, reaching, twisting, turning yourself into a pretzel while you're on the spinal cord trials, probably not a good idea. But I did ask her, is that something that I'll be able to do again? And to my surprise and to my excitement, she said yes. I will have to go through, obviously the permanent implant, but then the healing process, which I have to talk to the doctor about to find out exactly how long that healing process would be. But as soon as my doctor says I'm healed and I'm good to go, I can slowly begin to do yoga again. And anybody who's ever done yoga, I think realizes you don't go into yoga the first time, twisting yourself into a pretzel. So it's definitely something that I would be starting slowly. But I was super excited because that's something that I really enjoyed. It kind of just centers me. It, gives me energy. And if you've never done yoga, it's actually one hell of a workout. So it's no impact, but it's a heck of a workout when you're doing it and you're holding the poses and everything. So I'm really excited about that. I think everything, even with today with the achiness that I had, and I don't know if it had something to do with the weather because it's been raining. It rained yesterday pretty heavy. It was raining this afternoon. So I don't know if that has a factor to do with it, but I am more than willing to put up with that minimal achiness, minimal pain, compared to what I was before. I'm still able to walk up the steps, and I feel every day when I walk up the steps, I'm getting better at walking up the steps. Just in general, before, during my breaks at work, I would be, I'd go outside, read my book, but I'd have to be sitting. I couldn't stand for 15 minutes, let alone half an hour. And now I'm finding, I am able to stand. Clocking in the morning, At the time clock, I always get there early. So I would stand there and I'd lean against the wall because there isn't chairs right at the time clock, and I haven't been leaning against the wall. If I do lean against the wall, I think it's more out of habit. It's not out of necessity. But for the most part, though, I've been standing waiting for the time to clock in. So I am overall seeing way more benefits than there are drawbacks from it. And some of the drawbacks that I'm having right now would be the tape. I know today I got into my vehicle, and at one point I went to straighten myself out, and oh my gosh, I thought I tore the tape off. I must have caught something, a cord to the program thing itself or something, but oh my goodness, it felt like it felt like I was trying really hard to pull that tape off. It didn't come off. I did check it as soon as I was able to. I was like reaching up under my shirt and making sure it was still taped down, and it was. I think it just was enough force to, get my attention. And the variations, like right now, I've got sensation going into my hips, something insane. But if I relax a little bit, it shifts a little bit, and like right here I don't feel it in my hips at all, then it comes back, like so. The variation is manageable, but I don't like the variation. But that was something I spoke to my rep about, that the variation just seems to be very broad. So like I can lean myself back and get it vibrating into my legs and into my hips, but then if I lean down, I can get it to stop completely. So there's a lot of variation, and she did explain that to me, that with the trial there is a lot of variation. But she reassured me that with the actual implant, you do have the variation a little bit, but it is nothing like it is during the trial. The trial basically is to figure out, okay, is the stimulation going to help with your pain? And in my case, it is. It is definitely helping with my pain. So even 5 days into it, I have decided I am going to get the spinal cord stim implant done. I did call the doctor's office today in hopes that they'd be able to pencil me in a while. But unfortunately, I have to wait till my doctor returns. He's on vacation this week, so I will most likely be scheduling that, if not, probably not next Wednesday, because next Wednesday, my appointment's not till later in the early evening hours, and I don't think the booking or scheduling department is in as late as my appointment is. So it'll probably end up being Thursday when I book my spinal cord stim, but yeah, I'm definitely going to do it. It really, I'm so grateful that this is giving me my life back. For so long, it has been the constant, I want to go do something, but I can't. I want to go to this flea market, but it's huge and I can't walk around it. I want to go to the store, but I need milk, and it's in the back of the store. I can't walk that far. So it has, the pain that I was experiencing has affected my life drastically. Now this is making it where it's like, it's not going to affect, it may still affect my life, and I'm willing to deal with that, but going down to, okay, today I had a bit of pain. My pain level was like at a 1, compared to being at a 7. So that definitely, that's a huge decrease. That's definitely, I can tolerate a day where I'm achy. Okay, it's gonna rain. I'm gonna have a little bit of ache. The other thing was, when I had that achiness and stuff, I was able to kind of tweak the intensity of the program, so it made it less noticeable. And it took a little bit. Like I think I need to learn to be a little bit more gradual when I'm clicking the remote. Because I'll click and get up to like an even number. For some reason, I like the even numbers. And then I'm like, oh, okay, that's a little bit too much. Okay, bring it back down a little bit. But it is manageable. Before, my pain and everything was not manageable. My older son made the observation, I guess it was Sunday morning. He realized that I slept in. And normally I'm an early riser. I'm an early riser. Maybe not as a teenager, but I'm an early riser. I'm one of those people who I want to get up, get going for the day. I don't want to be sleeping my weekends away. And I guess it was Sunday that he came into my bedroom for something, and he was going to work. That's what it was. And he came in, but I was still sleeping. And normally I'm awake and up and around by 5 a.m. I'm always awake at 5 a.m. But before the spinal cord stimulator, didn't sleep very well at all during the night. Tossing, trying to get comfortable. There really wasn't a position to get comfortable in. But then, when my internal clock would wake me up, if I was sleeping, if my internal clock would wake me up, I would get up out of bed, because there was no, okay, let me roll over, let me, get repositioned and go back to sleep, or because I was in pain. And he goes, well, yeah, it's really helping because you slip in, which I don't normally do. And both the boys have said that I'm happier. They can see it in me, my attitude, I'm happier, which I try to cover it sometimes, but if I'm uncomfortable, if I'm in pain, I don't try to make everybody else's life hell because I'm hurting. It's just, that's not fair. It's not their fault. So, but the boys did say that, over the past couple days, I've been happier. They can tell a difference in my attitude. And I think too, prior to doing the spinal cord stim, with being in pain all the time, being in pain for as long as I was in pain, it just gets hard to put a happy face on. It gets to be a bit difficult to actually have that positive outlook. Not that I wasn't optimistic, not that I wasn't positive. My mom made the comment to me that even though with the stuff I'm dealing with, she's glad that I can laugh. And I do. But I think the day-to-day in and out of wearing on you, it just took its toll. And so they could see that was a difference that they saw with me having the spinal cord stim in. I'm more positive. I'm just more pleasant. So I guess I owe my kids an apology, because I am at times, if you're hurting, you're not the happiest person. So they have, I guess, dealt with me a lot, especially over the past year, 2 years, year and a half, 2 years, that it's been really bad, 4 years overall. But I do have to give them credit, because they have been like complete support systems to me. I have 3 kids, aging in range. My daughter will soon be 13, and my younger son's 17. My oldest is 19. He's actually going to be 20 in June. But they've tolerated a lot. They've put up with a lot. Not, angry, not yelling, not that stuff. But just, hey, Mom, let's go do this. It's like, oh, I really can't. Helping out around the house, even though, they're teenagers. So it's going to be, pick up the laundry, stop that. But they really, when it counted, they really, really stepped up and helped me out. They were there for me, and they're my biggest support. Both my son's girlfriends have been absolutely fabulous with helping me with stuff. Just family. I have a very big support system, and I have to acknowledge that. I think the whole process of getting to the point where to get the spinal cord trial, but also just through everything, it's like I'm extremely grateful for the people I have around me, because, my mom has her own back issues, and she's one who definitely definitely understands exactly what I'm going through. But I was able to, pick up the phone if I was having a really bad day, or, just didn't know what to do, pick up the phone and talk to my mom. And I knew she knew what I was going through, which makes it nice, because if you're trying to, you're in pain, you need to talk to somebody and you're trying to explain your pain to somebody, it can get frustrating. But yeah, I have a very good support system. So I think that is a factor that plays into this. I think that's also, because I have that support system, I do also have a more positive outlook and a positive attitude. Even if I have moments where I'm like, whoa me, it's like, this is horrible, this sucks. All right, they let me do that for a moment, and it's like, all right, let's get back on the game plan. What's next? You're going through this, okay, yeah. Now, what's next? What's the next step? What do you have to do? So it is that, okay, take that few moments and feel bad for yourself and feel bummed out. And then it's like, all right, so I do get that drive, and that's from my support system. And I know starting this trial and everything, I've had a lot of friends and a lot of family praying for me and giving me well wishes and just sending a lot of positive vibes. And I think that does help you be more, mentally prepared for it. I know going into this, my biggest fear was, what if it doesn't work? And I was praying for myself, which is something I don't generally do. But I don't think it was just my prayer for myself. I think it had to do with all the support I have. I have fire company members, I have friends, I have coworkers, family. I have a lot of people sending positivity my way. And that's the thing that I grasp onto. Like today when I had the achiness, I was just like, oh, that sucks. But I know I have a lot of support and a lot of people who, are hoping and praying that this works for me. And when I thought about it, it was that initial like, oh, I feel this. But it was okay. I can deal with it. I'm good. But I don't know if I'd have as positive attitude if I didn't have all those positive vibes and prayers coming in my direction. So I definitely need to acknowledge that. It gives you strength. So, but I've been messing around with the programs a little bit. I'm kind of finding that 1 and 3 seem to be my happy place. They seem to be the most effective. 4 is the high frequency, but I do feel it. But it's just something that I've got to kind of play around with. And once I get the permanent one in, the implant in, it's going to be different. It's going to be reprogrammed. It's going to, so one might not be the one that works best for me. It might be 2. But for right now, I'm kind of just bouncing between those 2 programs. And I'm getting good effects from it. So overall, I can't complain too much. The only thing I would have to complain about again is the tape. The tape, and now at this point too, it's like the tape's kind of shifted a little bit. So there's part where it's like it's still stuck to me, but it moved a little bit. So then I have this like sticky gunk like you would get from a Band-Aid, except it's this super strong medical tape, and I can't I can't wash it. So I try to like rub it off as best I can, and when I bird bath I clean it up, but I'm not supposed to get the dressing wet. So that's a little bit of an interesting thing. Brittany helped me wash my hair yesterday, so that was nice because now my hair was nice and clean and kind of can go at it for another couple days. She also showed me how to use dry shampoo. Because that was a concern I had too, was like, well, how am I going to deal with my hair? The dry shampoo seems to be a really good option. So I would suggest that to someone if you're getting the spinal cord trial, worried about your hair, try dry shampoo. It takes a little bit of getting used to like spray it so you don't get too much or you don't get too little. But it has really, we did that yesterday before we washed my hair, and I was really surprised at how well it worked. But yeah, like overall, I was nervous about it not working, not being able to shower, stuff like that, but that's not too bad. Like all of the stuff that I was nervous about, other than the, oh my gosh, what if it doesn't work, are like small inconveniences to find out if this is going to be a big benefit to me. And right now it is. You know, right now, unless something drastically changes over the next several days, I'm definitely getting the permanent one in, because it is so beneficial, and it's giving me my life back. And that's what I wanted, because I want to be able to go do things with my kids and not have to say I can't walk, I can't, you know, and having to have my kids take care of me. I don't like that. I'm too young for them to do that yet. So, but yeah, that's really all I have to report today. Feel free to click on the bottom, like this video. And like I always say, if you have questions, comments, feel free to make those. I will try to reply. I will try to answer any questions. Again, this is my experience with the spinal cord stimulator. It's my personal journey. It's not anything medical. It's not anything from the company. I'm not any type of expert on anything that I'm telling you. I'm just telling you what my experiences have been. So take it for what it's worth. If you gain information and knowledge from this, great. If not, sorry. But it's not the end all be all. Definitely go to your doctor or whatever and speak to them about it. They're going to be able to give you those medical answers. So thank you for viewing the video, and I will be back tomorrow. Tomorrow is New Year's Day, and I can honestly say I'm starting the new year out extremely well. Happy New Year's to me. So thanks for watching, and I'll talk to you again tomorrow. Bye.